1 year earlier, a girl named Citri Smart, a level 2 hunter and alchemist of tormented souls, gives Cry a small necklace containing a slime, the same one he used to escape from the wolves. The girl wants him to keep it, as she believes he will be safer with it. Cry gladly accepts. Citri is part of the capital Science Institute and is the brains behind Tormented Souls. She is also considered a prodigy in science and alchemy. Cry congratulates her on her new invention, calling it Citri's slime, and remembers the times they played with slime as children. As he tries to open the capsule, Citri stops him and warns him that opening it could destroy the entire capital. In the present, Cry is searching for the slime around his house, as when he opened the capsule in the chamber, it was empty. He searches everywhere but can't find it. Previously, it was always kept in the safe, which is also a treasure, so no one could have stolen it. Cry becomes convinced that Citri played a prank on him and gave him an empty capsule. A group of hunters explore a chamber, amazed by the level of the ghosts they are facing, as they are much stronger than they should be. They are trying to figure out why all the creatures suddenly leveled up, as it is a crucial matter for the association. Miltrucos is even rumored to be investigating on his own. The next day, Cry wakes up sleep-deprived because he can't stop worrying about the slime. His assistant finds him and informs him that the association wants him to file a report on the White Wolf's lair. Cry tries to get out of this, saying that Tino was the team leader, but she tells him that Tino is training with Liz, so he can't make the report. Cry asks if anything unusual happened in the capital, but his assistant doesn't understand what he means. Cry wanted to know if Citri's slime had caused any trouble, but he doesn't want to admit his negligence just yet. She insists on investigating if something is going on in the capital, but Cry asks her not to, admitting that he's just paranoid. He decides to find Tino himself to make the report. She remains uneasy, knowing that Cry has a history of predicting natural disasters, chamber anomalies, and even altercations between the nobility. She has witnessed this many times and knows it's not a coincidence. Cry goes down to the basement, where Liz and Tino are training, and sees a group of hunters gathered together. Sven Anger, a level 6 hunter and leader of Obsidian Cross, asks Cry to calm Liz down since he won't let them train. Cry wants to refuse, claiming that monster hunting isn't his thing. Sven insists, saying that neither Anson nor Lucia are around, so it's his responsibility to check on Liz. He also questions why Liz was the only one who came back. Cry explains that he deactivated several traps to get to the boss room, but got bored and decided to turn back early. Sven can't believe it, since they went to a level 8 chamber, but warns him that if he doesn't stop her, Liz might take out Tino. Cry thinks he's exaggerating, but upon entering, he finds Tino severely injured, with Liz standing in front of her, repeatedly ordering her to get up, or she'll finish her off. Tino doesn't respond, so Liz prepares to deliver the final blow. Cry asks her to stop, saying that it's enough for today. Liz wants to continue her lesson, as she sees a lot of talent and potential in Tino, but he's still very weak. Cry says that he understands, but Tino has a limit, and he's already reached it today. Liz, in a somber tone, asks if he really wants to stop her. Cry, with a smile, says yes, and Liz immediately changes her attitude, becoming sweet and considerate, agreeing to call it a day. At that moment, Tino grabs Liz's ankle. Annoyed, Liz asks him why he interrupts her conversation with Cry, and Tino replies that he can still continue training a little longer. Tino stands up, and Cry notices that he's wearing a Tormented Souls mask. Liz is ready to continue with the training. Cry leaves the room and apologizes to the adventurers. They understand that he did what he could, and agree that it's in their best interest for Tino to become stronger. Sven changes the subject and asks about the northern route, which has been closed. They have coffee, and he tells Cry that several dangerous ghosts have appeared and have even torn apart the Night Order's group. Cry remembers hearing in the White Wolf's lair that ghosts were attacking travelers. Cry senses that something strange is going on and wonders if that's why Genk wants to see him. He curses Ark for not being there, knowing that he's the right man for almost any task, and is confident that if he leaves the job to him, everything will go well. He then plans to buy some time until Ark arrives to send him to Genk, but upon seeing Sven, he gets an idea. If he reunites Genk with the Obsidian Cross, he could let them handle the task. Cry then asks Sven if he would be willing to accept a mission for the association now that he can't train, and also asks him to inform Genk that he hasn't been able to see him. Before they can respond, Cry stands up and leaves. Sven's partner admits that it's impossible to know what Cry is thinking since he always seems relaxed. no matter the problem. He wonders what he does all day since he's always busy, but sent his team on missions alone. Sven assures him that he's still too young to understand, but insists that Cry keeps the tormented souls and the guild together, and warns him to never underestimate Cry's power. Genk and his assistant discuss the recent changes at the White Wolf's lair. They find no clues as to what's causing the level increase in the chamber. Genk wants to talk to Cry, assuming he knows what's going on since he went on that mission for no apparent reason, despite not going on missions for a long time. His assistant tells him that Sven informed him that Cry is busy and can't meet with them. Meanwhile, in a hidden laboratory inside a cave, a man watches an experiment in amazement. A group of men approach him and warn him that the association will soon discover his plans, especially if Cry is involved. But one of them thinks it's impossible for a group of hunters to understand the greatness of the work of the chief mage, the lead researcher of the Akashic Tower in the capital. The huge green beam in front of them absorbs the power of the ley lines and stores it, causing changes in the treasure chambers. And if the old man's plan succeeds, they will soon be able to create treasure chambers at will. The men know that leaving the place and starting over will be a major setback to their progress. Some men express some discontent with a certain Sophia who is in charge of the security system but hasn't returned in a while. The old man reassures them, informing them that he has allowed Sophia to take a leave of absence and, through the contact stone, requested her return. He knows that if Sophia Black were there, she could resolve the situation immediately. At night, a massive, uncontrollable slime ravages the capital, burning and absorbing everything in its path. Cry wakes up terrified, wondering if the slime is really that terrible. At that moment, Liz wakes up beside him and asks if he's okay. Apparently, she has a habit of sneaking into Cry's bed without him noticing. Liz asks if he has any plans for the day. Cry asks if he won't be training Tino, and Liz replies that she agreed to give Tino the day off to recover, so she decided to rest as well. Cry decides that he should stop worrying so much and agrees to go out with her that day. Liz, excited, pounces on him. In the morning, Genk personally goes to the guild to find Cry. Seeing him, she tries to talk to him, but Liz, annoyed, says that Cry is busy during the day. Genk is surprised to see Liz and asks her what happened at the Night Palace, reminding her that she asked him for a report after clearing a level 7 chamber. Furious, Liz tells him that he relies too much on Cry and that they should start relying on themselves. Genk starts to get angry, and Liz, more upset by the interruption of their date, kicks Genk, but he easily blocks her. Genk tells her that even someone as calm as him has a limit. The two start a fight, so Cry invites Genk's assistant Kana to have tea together. There, Kana asks him if he has noticed anything unusual at the White Wolf's lair. Cry answers no and confirms that he was there for another reason. Kana wants to know more about it, but Cry, embarrassed, says that he can't yet, fearing that there might be a spy among them. He still agrees to give guild support to help her. The fight between Genk and Liz continues, and the office is being destroyed. Liz mocks Genk's lack of physical fitness, as he now works in an office. Liz is willing to spare his life for old time's sake, which angers Genk, who wants to teach him a lesson. Cry and Kaina return and see them fighting. Cry is not surprised that Genk can keep up with Liz, as he was once a level 7 hunter, known as the Demon of War. Cry stops the fight, tells them that they are done talking, and asks Genk to calm down. He insists that she is the only one who is upset, but Liz, happy and excited, runs to Cry. Everyone calms down, and Genk agrees to return to his office. Cry and Liz walk through the streets of the capital. She comments that Genk has weakened, and that time catches up with everyone. Cry points out that Genk has not weakened, and that it is unfair to compare him to an active hunter. Liz insists that she is even stronger, as he was never able to handle the Dark Palace. Cry asks if there were any very strong enemies there. She happily replies that they were the strongest she has ever faced. Cry then asks if they were stronger than the leader of the White Wolf's den, but he was so weak to her that she doesn't even remember him. The rest of his companions are still in the Dark Palace, and Cry hopes they'll return soon to help solve the slime problem. Suddenly, Liz hands her things to Cry and goes to restrain a man, saying that he looked suspicious. Cry asks her to let him go and apologizes as the man runs away. Liz is surprised that she let him go, hugs him, and says that he's a great actor. Cry has no idea what's going on. The man arrives at an abandoned place, wondering how he's been discovered. If you've reached this point in the video, don't forget to leave the word Exquisito in the comments. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.